now when you return home, the duties, the thing, and then the next one's the recreation. This is physical disability. Physical disability is those things that you can no longer do that you did before, which were not part of your earning a living. And when you return to the workplace, you find good witnesses here. The employer has them back on the job, but then the employer comes in and talks about all the things they cannot do now that they could do before. I can't assign that to them anymore. That's damage to wage earning capacity. That's a big damage item. Future damages, your life care plan, life expectancy, and always plead future damages. I taught damages in law school for 25 years, and one of my young associates came in one time and he said, you know, I'd hired a new associate from the school, and one of my attorneys came in and said, you know, he really took you seriously here about you telling them to always plead future damages, because if you plead them and you don't prove them, no harm, no foul. But if you don't plead them and you try to prove them, you may have some difficulty with amendment. So always plead them. And he said, yeah, read this. And I read a petition he drafted, and it said, decedent has experienced funeral expenses in the past, and in all reasonable probability will experience funeral expenses for an indefinite period of time in the future. And I said, well, I called him in. I said, what are we dealing with here, the eternal flame? And he said, no, the suit was rented. So I apologize for that. I was just, sorry, seriously. Okay, so now here's what we do. We take the element of physical pain. We put it up on the wall in our war room. And then physical pain. Under that element, we list who are the lay witnesses who can testify to physical pain. Who are the expert witnesses who can testify to physical pain? What is the documentary evidence? The medical records, whatever. Test results, whatever. That will be evidence of physical pain. And then demonstrative evidence of physical pain. They would do the same thing separately with mental anguish, with physical disability, physical disfigurement, whatever, with every element of damage that we have. So by the time we finish, we have the war room covered all the way around the wall with every element of damage. Now what you can do at that point is you can then stand back and you can look for the holes in the evidence. You can look for what is not here. Yeah, your lay witnesses. Then you try to find, if you find out that you don't have enough evidence at the scene, you've got, okay, who were your people at the scene? The defendant is often a very good witness for the physical pain and mental anguish of the plaintiff at the scene. The defendant was there, the defendant driver was there, and they can be put in a very bad position. If you've got an obviously injured plaintiff, you ask them about what they saw and what was the pain and suffering what was the plaintiff going through it, and what kind of problem was he having, and what did you do to help? Did you call 911? If it's an 18-wheeler, they'll say no. Who'd they call? The dispatcher. So here's a man in all kind of bad shape, and all the defendant who caused this is doing is calling his dispatcher so they can get their people to the scene. So we go through all the lay witnesses. We put that up there. All your health care providers, your rehabilitation team, your life care planners, those are your expert witnesses. Then we look at this. We stand back and we look around the war room and we say, okay, where are the holes? Where do we not have evidence? So then we look at, 1, what is available? 2, how can it be simplified? 3, how can it be enhanced? You take an x-ray and turn it into a positive, something that obvious. How can it be enhanced? And then, if there's no evidence, what can be created? Do we need to do an animation? Do we need to do additional testing? What do we need? And we do that with every element of damage.